Good evening, everybody. How is it going? It feels like forever since I last did a stream. When was the last one? It was probably the Sunday after Game Week 4 finished. So yeah, it's been a long time. How are you all doing? How are you getting on with the international break? As always, I've kind of enjoyed it, to be honest. A little bit of a break, although I've still done, God knows how many videos, like 8 or 9 since Game Week 4. So I've still done a lot. Plus, there's all the scout stuff as well. So it's not really been a massive break, but I mean, I've played quite a bit of FIFA. That's good. Taking my mind off FPL a bit. But there's still more to come. I've got Captaincy video tomorrow. I've got the Patreon Q&A to do tomorrow as well. Team news with Neil on Scout as well. So pretty busy going into Saturday. And of course, deadline stream as well. So plenty more to come. But I guess we should probably talk about today, like, because it is Thursday night. I basically probably wouldn't have even streamed if it wasn't for my missus. She asked me at like 6 o'clock or 5:30. She said, "Are you streaming tonight?" I was like, "Nah." And I was like, "Oh, it's Thursday. Yes, I am streaming." So you can probably say thanks to her for this stream actually happening, because I completely forgot. I do switch off so much when it comes to international break. Please advise on COVID news. I mean, what do you want to know? Like, I know about as much as you, really. We are going. The internet, of course, has just started to be awful. Just as I click start streaming. Why would it be any other way, to be honest? But yeah, lots has happened in the international break. When I show you my team in a minute, I'm a little bit regretting early transfers potentially. I mean, my team in particular, and I'm sure a lot of you as well, especially with De Bruyne and Sterling, going to be closely watching the press conferences tomorrow, because we need to hear from Pep, we need to hear from Ancelotti, we need to hear from everyone basically to see what is going to happen. Will Reguilon play? I don't see why not. Pulisic or Havertz? I mean, Pulisic's the punt, right? Because you don't know how many minutes he's going to play. I think from what we know right now, if they're both going to play the same minutes, I go Pulisic. But there's nothing to say that Havertz won't be the main man when they're all fit. We just don't know. Any news on Fiber? Look, it's not the time to start ranting about that. Maybe we'll talk about it at the end. Let's just say I have someone trying to chase it, and they are getting nowhere because the people they're speaking to are absolute idiots. So I don't think it's going to come, but I'm still chasing it. By the way, I'm yellow flagged myself. Got a back injury. All right, my back is spasming, but sitting in this chair is actually pretty good for it. It's lying down. It's trying to sleep, which is a nightmare. I mean, there's nothing FPL-wise to talk about anyway, so I might as well talk about my back. And I went for physio on it earlier, and it feels worse than when I went in, which does happen sometimes when you go to physio. But so if I get up and go, it's because that yellow flag's turning into an orange flag as we speak. But hopefully it will be all right in this chair. No sudden movements. All right, let me just bring up my team really quick, and then we'll go through any questions and stuff you want to discuss. So this, I always screw that up. This is the team. So I made my early transfer, which I've spoken about on video already. So I took out Shaw and Che Adams, and I bought in Morpay and Ayling, I think, right? Have I got Diaz? Nah, it's not too bad. I just can't sleep. That's the most annoying thing about the back is I just can't sleep properly. Like last night I had to sleep on the sofa like 2 or 3 hours, and then the back just seizes up, so I have to get out. Like, I was playing FIFA this morning about 4:30 in the morning because it was just easier to sit here than it was to try and sleep. And around 6 o'clock, once the back had kind of, I don't know, relaxed a bit, I went back to sleep, and then yeah. It's just annoying. But anyway, it's not because of the deadlift. The guy that I went and see today reckons I just pulled a muscle like in my sleep or something. But anyway, enough of the back things, right? I've taken out Shaw and Adams. I've bought in Morpay and Ayling. Am I completely happy about those moves? I'm not sure, to be honest. Maybe it was a bit rash, but I've saved myself some team value. Obviously, I'm hoping that De Bruyne is fit. But the De Bruyne's Son move just looks so good, doesn't it? So that's something to think about. Luka Dean as well went off injured. I mean, this is a bit of a pain for me this week. The De Bruyne thing I could live with, but if Luka Dean's out as well, that makes it tricky, right? Nihal, thoughts on Che Adams versus Kepa? I mean, Kepa's definitely better than Mendy, and it doesn't sound like Mendy's going to be fit, but again, we'll have to wait and see tomorrow. The thing with Che Adams is he's going to score at some point, right? He's getting too many chances, and if it's this week, so be it. I certainly wouldn't be bringing him in, though. No Spurs assets. No Spurs assets right now. I mean, De Bruyne to Son for a -4 could happen. But I'm okay going without Kane. I'm okay going without Kane for now. It's not easy for me to get him in. I do quite like him or Son captain. I know, like a lot of people are going to say, why have you not got Son? Why have you not got Son or Kane? But look, if I hadn't made my early transfers, maybe I would have Son right now. But if De Bruyne's playing, I want to captain him. So I don't think there's a need for Son in that case. If Luka Dean's out, you can play Eiling. Yeah, absolutely. But obviously I need a potential replacement with De Bruyne as well. I think the one reason I'm not... Desperate's the wrong word, because I would love to have Kane or Son in this week. But I can just vice captain Salah. Is he that much worse than... I mean, it is Everton, so it's a tough fixture, but is he that much worse than Spurs versus West Ham? I don't know if he is. So I'm not probably going to get him this week. I really love 2 free transfers to do the moves, but we'll see next week. We'll see what happens. So I saw someone just say their back was because of tight hamstrings. I actually had like a hamstring strain the other day. I'm falling apart basically. I moved the gym from 3 days a week to 4, and plus I'm doing like loads more steps. Like on non-gym days, I'm often pushing like 20,000 steps, and I think I might have just overdone it. But the back I don't think is from exercise. Alfred, Bamford or Watkins? I'd probably go. I mean, you know what my opinions are on Bamford. I'd probably just go Watkins. And hope this hat-trick kind of spurs him on to great things. And also Villa's fixtures are really good coming up as well. Is Bamford versus Watkins the question of the day? I don't know. I'm not sure that's the case. Am I waiting on Pep's presser? Yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting him to say anything massively positive. I mean, if I had to bet right now, I'm going to get something like... We'll have to wait and see. He's come back, he's okay, but we're going to have to wait and see. Or we've got to do a late training test or something like that. It's always the case. So we're not going to get a yes. But I feel like he's not going to be benched, then come on. But I mean, I could be stung, potentially. But we'll see. We'll see what he says, and then I'll kind of work it out from there. I could just hit the wildcard button, of course. Because Foden, someone just asked me how long I'm thinking about keeping Foden for. I don't know. I'm doing all right. Like, in general, my team's actually doing okay. Like, 468k rank is fine at this stage of the season. I've scored pretty nicely. My main problem is the hits I've taken. I think I've protected my team value a bit too much to the point where... I don't know. I can't be too annoyed about Foden or Jimenez because I did think they would do okay. But 2 blanks, and now I'm thinking, do I want either of them? There's a few players that I would change if I was wildcarding. I do think if I was wildcarding, I would go without De Bruyne and risk Kane and Son for a few weeks. And then think about getting De Bruyne back in like in game week 11 or something like that. It's a bit risky, but they got such good fixtures, Spurs. It's probably worth that risk. Nihao, I have double Southampton against Chelsea. Plan to make Che to more pay, but De Bruyne and Luka Dean injuries can force me to hold Che. What are the Luka Dean options? Well, it depends... It depends what other players you got, but you could, like for me, if I was to get rid of Luka Dean this week, I'd probably use it as a chance to get some money out of him to go down to like Lamptey or someone. If Lamptey is fit, I don't know if we're going to get confirmation on that. I think he's back training, so he might play at the weekend. But I'd maybe use it as a chance to kind of downgrade a bit. If you wanted to stay around that price, you've got Chilwell if he's fit, or Reguilon maybe for Spurs as well. It kind of depends on what other players you've already got. Thoughts on Richarlison? Only 0.3 more than Calvert-Lewin, and he's on pens. Yeah, I mean, it's getting close now. I still think Calvert-Lewin's probably the one to go for at the moment. He's just getting so many chances. I bet your back is in better condition than my FPL team. I'm not so sure, to be honest. I mean, right now, maybe, but not at 3 a.m. in the morning. Is 8 out? I don't know how to pronounce this yet, but 8's Nori. We'll just go with Nori, right? Is he a starting left back? We don't know, basically. He could start there. Marcel could start there. Saiss played left wing back last time. We just don't really know. Saiss is now a rotation threat. I say one thing about Saiss, right? This whole he's a rotation threat, he could get dropped. This is basically all this speculation has come is from FPL managers worried that he might get dropped from some mistakes, maybe, but he's carried on playing under Nuno. Until he gets dropped, I'm not worried about Saiss. I think. Like, Nuno hasn't, like, hinted that he's under risk. I've not seen any journalists saying that he's under risk of losing his place. It's just FPL managers worrying. And one worries, then another one takes that on. And it's just spiraling to a point where Saiss is a rotation risk. But actually, he just keeps playing. of course, if he loses his place or whatever, then yeah, I'll look to move him on. But until that happens, he's still a pretty good option, I think. Given the erratic season today, what curveball are you expecting? I think West Ham to beat Spurs. Why not? 1-0. Be amazing if I don't have any Spurs players. I'll have to wait and see, though. Being a United fan, keeping Bruno over Son has cost me. Yeah, I think Bruno to Son looks like such an obvious transfer to me. I know that Man United got Newcastle, but I wasn't a fan of Bruno Fernandes at the start. I'm certainly no more of a fan right now. The chat has... I don't know why it does this sometimes. The chat has paused for some reason. I don't know how to get it back. Do I do this? Oh, but now it's like showing the back end. Hang on. Let me delete that. If it keeps doing it, I'm just gonna leave it because it. Oh my god! It did this before and it kept doing it for some reason. Just in one stream. I don't know why it does it. I've just got to set. Oh, you're kidding me! Okay, I'll be 2 seconds setting it back up. I mean, to be fair, I don't really know if I need to keep putting the chat on screen because the live chat should be available afterwards anyway. So I don't. I mean, I still genuinely wonder how many people actually read the live chat as they're watching the stream. If you do, let me know in the comments below. My assumption is it's probably not that many people, but whatever. The people said they wanted it. I did it ages ago. We keep doing it. I mean, what else would I put on that bit of the screen anyway? Your feed went down for a bit. Oh, yeah, internet. internet. Is Bruno worth having in the team at all or not? I mean, for me, I don't... Not necessarily like, you know, so bad that you have to run out and get rid of him. You could just get another penalty and then suddenly your quid's in again. Oh, I've just pulled the light out. Oh, this is a bloody nightmare. I've just pulled the light out. This is what happens when you have no lighting on your street. Oh my god. You've probably just got a close-up of my big fat head. I'm having an absolute nightmare. Look, got my torch. Okay. There we go. Oh, what is going on? What was I even at? Oh yeah, Bruno. I don't think like he's not one of those players you absolutely must get rid of this week. I mean, like my opinion hasn't. Like sometimes I knee-jerk, right? Like everyone. Suddenly I'm like, I quite like the look of this player now. Like Kane, hadn't really considered him at all. Now I would on wildcard. Bruno, I've said all along, don't think he's worth the money. Still don't think he's worth the money. If you got a free transfer, you could get Son in. Son's probably a better option over the next 4, etc., etc. William Jones, how's it going? Bit of a weird one. McGinn or Click? Click. That's a good question, and that's a tough one. The thing is, if you're doing it this week, right? Any Aston Villa speculation, like and how good they're going to be is based off this one Liverpool game, right? I mean, McGinn was a pretty good option last year when he was fit right at the start. I feel like I'd probably go to McGinn, but like I'm not biased against Leeds. You just know I haven't really fancied any of their attackers so far. So McGinn got lots of good fixtures coming up. Maybe just about go for him, unless you think Leeds are going to get loads of penalties, I guess. Does my dodgy internet cope with FIFA? It's actually not too bad as long as I'm the only one on the internet. Like if my missus is just doing work, it's fine. But if anyone's like watching Netflix or my son... I just said my son, right? Do you know why I said that? Because I used to say son all the time for Hyung Min's son. And I've been training myself to say son instead because people keep saying I'm saying it wrong. And so when I went to say my son, I said my son instead. Will I just give up with this stream tonight? It's an absolute nightmare. When my son is playing Fortnite or whatever, I can't really play at the same time. Like, there's some games you can play with a little bit of lag. FIFA is not one of them. But I certainly can't stream it and play it at the same time. Absolutely no chance. Son. Would I go for Sice on a wildcard? Oh, see, this is the thing now. You're calling my bluff. I'm saying he's not a rotation risk, but then I'm like, on a wildcard, I probably still would. Crazy stat, Callum Wilson, best striker in the past 4 weeks per minutes played. Yeah, a few penalties. How many penalties has he had? 1 or 2? My son, what an idiot. It is one of those days. You know what it is like? It's literally the international breaks just kill me from doing videos. It's like I'm one of those people. I can't speak. I'm one of those people that likes. I do like routine, right? So when the international break comes around, like I took a bit of time off from like scout stuff. I wasn't on too many videos last week, for example. I did a few of my own, but I didn't do any like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You just kind of fall out of it a little bit, fall out of the rhythm and whatever, and you know it's affecting my performance tonight. But I will be back stronger on Saturday for the deadline stream. What the Werner's underlying stats are, I'm not sure. You'd have to go and have a look. Not great, I imagine. Talk about Ziyech, please, for game week 5. What do you want to talk about Ziyech for? Sorry, not why the hell would you want to talk about it? I mean, what do you want to talk about in regards to him? I'm the type of manager that doesn't like taking hits. Should I start taking hits more? No, not necessarily if you don't need them. There's lots and lots of good, great, managers have had loads of good ranks in the past that don't take hits, like very rarely anyway. Like I've already taken 3. I mean, really, my hits so far haven't hugely worked out. Luka Dean's done okay, but I could have probably got just as many points from a cheaper defender. Rodriguez was a great purchase, but I could have just got him for free. I didn't have to take the hit for Luka Dean. I was really trying to save money on Vinagre. And then I've got Foden and Jimenez in for a hit, both blank. Now I've got more pay and Ayling in. I'm benching Ayling. So yeah, maybe hits are bad. But it's hard to know right now because for me, for example, I've done a lot of it to save money on players that I don't want to keep long term. That's the one thing. Like, I've taken out Vinagre, Shaw, Che Adams. I can't remember who I took out for Jimenez and Foden, which is a bit stupid. Who do I have in? Oh, Che Adams. Yeah, Che Adams and Shaw. Sorry, no, that was before. Who did I have before Jimenez? I can't remember. It's going to bug me, so I'm going to have to just go and have a look. Oh, Werner, of course. Yeah, so these are on my transfers so far. So Pulisic and Vinagre, they were falling in price. They haven't played. Shaw and Adams, they're falling in price. Don't want to keep them long term. Aubameyang wasn't falling in price, but De Bruyne was rising. And to be fair, Aubameyang's been rubbish. Saint-Maximin and Werner, though. I mean, I didn't get stung by Werner, but I did by Saint-Maximin. So the hits have kind of done okay. Like De Bruyne's blanked, to be fair, since I brought him in. Like these 3 players have all blanked. Luka Dean's done okay, and Rodriguez has been brilliant. So kind of hit or miss with the hits. Do you get it? But maybe at the end of the season, when my team value's a little bit better than it normally would be, maybe that will help me. Maybe it will. Luka Dean to Castagna looks like a trap. The one thing I would say is look at Leicester's fixtures, right? And also, there's reports that Soyuncu might miss. I don't know how long for. Let me see. I think it's just a knock, hamstring injury. He might miss this game this week. So Aston Villa at home looks fine, but then it's Arsenal away, Leeds away, Wolves at home, Liverpool away. That's not good fixtures for a defender for me. So I wouldn't go to Castagna, I don't think. I'd rather go for Chilwell if he's fit, personally. Cameron, how's it going? It's my first year playing FPL. Loving the content. Thank you very much. Loving your stream viewing. Stream viewing. What am I trying to say? Currently on my wildcard, I'm trying to decide between Reece James, Sice, and Lamptey. I mean, this is one of the players I really knee-jerked on is Reece James, right? The fact that Azpilicueta started, which in hindsight now, pretty freaking obvious, right? He's not like he was going to sit out the whole season. But Reece James could keep playing a few. He could play like, 2 and 3, something like that. I probably wouldn't go for Reece James. I still think Sice is probably the better option than Lamptey. But if you've got like a Leeds defender, Lamptey and the Leeds defender do rotate quite nicely. So yeah, Sice or Lamptey. I think Wolves' defence, for everything we know, is better. So probably him. Rohan, how's it going? Bruno and James. Reece James? No. Marcus and Son. Oh, James Rodriguez. To Marcus, to Rashford, is it? And Son Kane doubler. Would you not just keep James Rodriguez and just do Bruno to Son? Keep James Rodriguez. The only thing is, James Rodriguez might not start this weekend, but we don't really know yet. We'll have to wait to see what Ancelotti says. Leicester will have Europa League match as well, yeah? Fair play. Good point. cover more teams and matches or multiple players from a single team? Like, that's not a question you can just answer with a yes or no, or this is right, this is wrong, because it depends on the players. I've got 3 Everton players, which after game week 1, like, people saying you shouldn't have 3 Everton. Not everyone, but a few people said like tripling up on Everton is bad, but it's been fine because they had the fixtures, they had the form, etc., underlying stats, whatever. All right, they looked like they were going to be good. But in terms of defence, like one of the reasons against kind of doubling up is people just can't cope with it. It's just like FPL is such a psychological thing as well as everything else. You can have a double up on the defence and it'd be a good decision, but watching that game will be an absolute nightmare. Apart from Liverpool defenders, of course, because they're just so good going forward. So I don't think multiple players or cover more teams. It depends on the players and teams, to be honest. How's it going, Neil? Taking a work break, nice, for another half an hour, hopefully. Zaha has some great fixtures coming up. Grealish out for Zaha. Why would you take Grealish out right now? That just seems like a transfer that doesn't need to be made. If you really think Zaha's going to be the one, go for it, but not for me. Zaha is captain choice, not a chance, not for me. And look, people will, if I got that wrong and if Zaha scores a brace, there'll be comments on Saturday or Sunday whenever he's playing. You got it wrong about Zaha. Do you know what? And I'd make that decision every single time without fail. I should put some different music on, shouldn't I? I don't even know if you can hear it, but I can. It's just repeat. Chatham or Pace seems that obvious hit, right? The bloody chat is frozen again. I don't get it. I just do not get why that's happening. I'm not. Do you know, I'm not even going to put the chat back up, to be honest. If he's going to keep doing it, that's just annoying. So I'm just going to leave it. Hey Glenn, how's it going? Thanks for watching. Glad you could catch us live. Same time every single week, pretty much. Apart from when there's an international break. Yeah, let me have a look at Zaha's fixtures, right? I'm just not a fan of Zaha. I think Zaha is kind of almost flattest to deceive sometimes. He has blanked only against Everton and Chelsea, to be fair. Yeah, Brighton, Fulham, Wolves away, Leeds at home, Burnley away, Newcastle home, West Brom away. It's pretty nice. I guess if you're ever going to get Zaha in, maybe now's the time. But I don't know. Zaha's just such a disappointment. I don't like having preconceptions about players or bias against players. And if you really, even if he's hurt you before, if you think he's going to do well, just go for it. He's not for me, and I certainly wouldn't be taking Grealish out for him. But again, that's just my opinion. You don't have to take it. Would I move Rodriguez on a wild card? Probably not, especially if I've had him since 7.5, because the fixtures are still good afterwards, right? So Southampton and Newcastle away, then Man United at home. Who knows if that'll be a tricky fixture by game week 8. Fulham away in game week 9, Leeds at home game week 10, Burnley away game week 11. I don't really see. I've got to watch my feet so I don't pull the wire out again. I don't really see a huge reason to get rid of him. I guess if you wanted someone like Grealish or whoever it might be instead, fair enough. But the thing with Rodriguez is, and I know wildcards are annoying because when you play a wildcard, you always want to make massive changes to your whole team. But if you weren't wildcarding, would you in any way be thinking about taking out James Rodriguez? Probably not. What's he done wrong, I guess? Apart from potentially not starting this week. Which, to be fair, is annoying because it's it's a fixture he could do okay in. Or I don't know, could do okay in, yeah. The way Everton played last time. The way Liverpool played last time. Although surely Liverpool are going to be wanting kind of, not revenge, but almost like revenge on Villa, and they're going to take it out on Everton. Pulisic or James Rodriguez on a wildcard. Now that's a tricky one. I mean, if they both get regular minutes, I think Pulisic will just edge James Rodriguez, but obviously he is a bit more expensive. You don't have Son and Kane, why no wildcard? Will your team ever get even worse for Game Week 16? No! You will surely manage it well. Exactly. And part of that management is not panicking and getting Son and Kane in right now. I keep saying, Son and Kane are not going to do what they've done the last 4 weeks and the next 4 weeks. They've got 16 returns between them in 4 game weeks. That ain't going to keep happening. I don't care what anyone says. It's just not going to happen. Next 4, maybe they get 8. Maybe they get 1 return each average over the next 4 games. Maybe I'm massively wrong, and I'll live to regret it. But I might still get Son in, but I'm not looking to get Son and Kane. I'm certainly not wildcarding just to get those 2 in. Mr. Hahn, how's it going? Morpay, captain. Not for me. Like, I think whenever you ask me a captain choice, it's always going to be a very similar answer, because it's just not a thing that I want to take a risk on. That's just not the type of manager I am. And also, captaincy can be so big. It can make, I've said this a million times, it can make a good game week great. It can make a bad game week good. And I just think Morpay, there's not enough upside to captaining him. I just think the tried and tested options, De Bruyne, Sterling, maybe even Salah, Kane, Son, all looking much better than Morpay for me this week. As long as they're all fit, of course. But if you want to go for it, like if you think that's a really good fixture for him, do it. It's so hard doing this because I don't want to talk people out of decisions, but obviously I do want to give my opinion as well. And I would just never captain Morpay. Maybe if he was playing like West Brom at home, and like Antonio, for example, someone I'm looking at captaining against Fulham in game week 8, because the likes of Liverpool and Man City, I think they're playing each other in that game week, or they've got a difficult fixture. But yeah, most of the time it's always going to be a hard no for me. Ings and St. Maximin to Son and Watkins. Yeah, I like that, especially if it's for free. If I had Kane, would I captain him? If I had one of the Spurs boys, I'd consider captaining them, yes. I think the problem for me now with De Bruyne is we're not going to get 100% yes. Aguero and Jesus probably aren't going to be back to play either. And I just worry, will Partey come into that Arsenal team and help them out a little bit, make them like really put up a fight against Man City? It does worry me a bit, which is why I might default to Salah captain. But yeah, bringing in Son and captaining could be genius. Jimenez captain, wild tip. Yeah, I got no interest in captaining Jimenez. So rarely does he get double figures. Will I make videos for the Champions League fantasy? Probably not, no. Do enough FPL stuff, I think, to worry about going to do Champions League as well. You never know, but I doubt it. Who would you take out, Son or Kane? Take out? As in remove them from your team? Absolutely neither of them. I'll just do a quick shout out to the patrons, by the way. If you haven't already checked out, there's a link in the description below, patreon.com/letstalkfpl. I'm now converting all my videos and streams to podcasts over on there if you want to check that out. There's early team reveals and stuff like that, Slack access, extra Q&A content, WhatsApp access, depending on what kind of thing you want. So just a quick shout out to everyone that is signed up on the Patreon Legends wall. I actually need to make a few amendments to this, I think, but everyone should be up there now. So thanks to everyone that signed up. And if you want to check it out as well, patreon.com/letstalkfpl, link in the description below. That's pretty much everything you get on screen right there. Couple of Martial out 4, can afford every striker. Go Kane, Vardy and have 0 in the bank, or Jimenez, Ings and have 1.2 million, which helps to tighten up the midfield. I mean, that really depends on your strategy. If you want to go down the route of putting more money into midfield, then don't go for Kane. If it doesn't really help you that much because you're happy with your midfield, go for Kane. I wouldn't be going for Vardy. Like, he's really backing up his points with penalties only so far, and the fixtures, like I said earlier, for Leicester, not good after Villa. So I do like Kane, to be honest. But if you've got plans for that money, then don't go for him. Mo, how's it going? Captain Son, Kane, or Mo? Great chat. I think, like, I do like Salah, like, most weeks, right? But I think for this week, like, if I was ever not going to captain him to captain Kane or Son, it would be this week, I think, because they're playing West Ham at home. Can West Ham keep up these great defensive performances? Maybe. But I think I would possibly think about going for Son. The Son versus Kane is really tricky, by the way, because Kane's got penalties, but obviously Son gets all those like extra points for goals, extra points for clean sheet. I'd probably side with Son just about, but Kane could do really well against West Ham. But, I mean, the one thing I will say with Salah is do not be surprised if he gets plenty of points, because it's what he does, right? He's going to be captain for me the next couple of weeks. How can I send you my team so you can look at it? I don't really look through people's teams, to be honest. If you could see my inbox, you would understand exactly why that is, because the amount of messages I get with people asking me to rate their team is insane. And most of the time, I just think if you're happy with it, I'm happy with it. Sometimes I do videos like for it, but I'll specifically put out a tweet asking for the teams. Then show us your team if you're a wildcard. I did a video on that if you want to check it out. I'm not going to go for it again now. Do I think Tellez will start? I'd be surprised if he doesn't, to be honest. Like, if he's fit, I mean, that's going to be the big key. Is he ready to play? We'll see what Solskjaer says, although Solskjaer's not always that welcoming with information on press conferences, but surely he's got to start. I mean, Man United have been the worst team in the league so far. The worst team. I know literally they haven't been. West Brom have been worse, but West Brom were expected to get tanked in most matches. Man United are not, and they have been truly awful. And I mean, again, I keep saying, like I said at the start of the season, last year Man United were one of the best defences, both from underlying stats and the amount of goals they conceded, right? They only conceded one more than Man City. They conceded 3 more than Liverpool, right? You can make a joke about how, Maguire's worth 80 million, he's not worth 80 million, etc., and he's not, right? But he didn't choose that price tag, and he did come in and make our defence more solid. Like, literally came in, and him and Wan-Bissaka made it more solid. But this season, what is going on? Maguire's just all over the place. Shaw just looks awful. And it's only a few games, of course, and they will turn it around. But the problem is, the more you lose, the worse kind of morale and stuff gets, right? So, I mean, that's a long way to answer Tellez will start. I feel like he just has to, right? Just has to. I think he'll like, the problem with Shaw is he does kind of attack, but he always looking for that ball inside. Never looking just to go past the defender or just to push it and get across it. It's always stop, pass inside. It was the same when Valencia used to play right back. Used to do my head in. West Brom, they were good against Chelsea. They weren't that good, really. They got a bit lucky in the amount of goals they scored, to be completely honest. I mean, fair play to them for getting 3 against Chelsea, but another day Chelsea win that comfortably. Is Sterling going to play? We don't know. And how much pressure do you think Ollie is? Do you know, I don't know if he is. I really don't. Just the way that club is run is just... At some point they might sack him, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. And then they just get a new manager in. Same rubbish with the transfer market. It's just a circle of awfulness. Double Liverpool defence on wildcard. I would certainly be tempted. If it's something you're going to want long term, just do it now, I think. That's the thing for me. If you want double Liverpool defence, here's the thing I would do. Pretend Alisson's in goal. Do you pick double defence? If you do, just do it now. Right? You don't want to be using transfers to do that later on. That is my opinion. Ziyech, Pulisic, Havertz. I picked Pulisic, but there's nothing to say that he will be the best out of those 3. But based on last year, if he can get some bloody minutes, he'll be good. Am I Ollie out? No, I don't think so. Would you captain Salah against a treble Everton also in your team? Yeah, why not? I mean, if I had treble Everton defence, I might try and play the highest ceiling and not captain him. But yeah, I think with my team, I definitely would. Rodriguez out for Grealish. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think Rodriguez done nothing wrong. But if you need the money for a different move, then maybe go for it. I don't know. I just feel like Villa are amazing. Maybe they are, but it was a freak result, wasn't it, against Liverpool? So we don't really know enough about them yet. And the next couple of games are going to be tricky enough. I think it's Leicester and Leeds, is it? Let me see. It is Leicester and Leeds. Boom. And they got Arsenal away as well in the next 4. So let's have a see in the next couple to see what they do. Sterling captain. If you're 100% sure he's going to start, I like it. I think De Bruyne and Sterling are 2 of the best captain options this week. But let's see what Pep says first. Son captain stayed in London for the whole international break. Relaxed for 2 weeks. Yeah, no, that's probably nice for him, to be fair. Am I confident keeping Foden long term? No, probably not. I don't think he'll be long term. Grealish is a very good player. Absolutely not disagreeing with that at all. But so is James Rodriguez. Keep faith with Souček. I mean, if he's in there as an enabler, then yeah, why wouldn't you? I guess. Pretty good fixtures coming up from Gameweek 8. I mean, whether to start Luca Dean or Justin will depend on what Ancelotti says, to be honest. Gonna be a long wait for the press conferences tomorrow. Is Walcott a good budget asset? I was thinking about Walcott. Where does he even play? They got Redmond and Armstrong, and then Ings and Che Adams. I mean, maybe he plays ahead of Armstrong at times, but I wouldn't be going for Walcott. It's been a long time since he was a good option in FPL. There seems to be no Friday games this year. They've changed the games now. There's literally Friday games for Game Week 6 and Game Week 7, and they haven't done Game Week 8's fixtures list yet. So there is Friday games coming. David, how's it going? Bruno captain. Other options are dodgy. Maybe Zaha. Ooh. Hang on. You've got no Salah, no Mane, no Sterling, no De Bruyne, no Son, no Kane. For real. Would I captain Bruno ahead of Zaha? I probably would, yeah. So Alex Ferguson coming out of retirement, I don't think that's going to happen. Like, there's not enough upside. What if it goes wrong? Imagine that Ferguson comes back and he just can't get the best out of the team. That would be a nightmare. You just don't want to ruin that legacy. I don't want him to come back. I'm just going to say it now. Should I hold on to Aubameyang with Partey coming in? He might not go down that much. I just don't... From what I remember, because we all got rid of him, I don't think Arsenal's fixtures are actually that great, are they? Yeah, City, Leicester, Man United, next 3. I just don't think Aubameyang's worth holding on to. They're not creating enough chances. And him himself just not getting chances at all. Just really not been good. Is Son a good captain shout? Absolutely. Absolutely. Do I like the game week team news under the pick team? You think it looks a bit strange? I don't know what you mean, to be honest. Perhaps that's an app thing. Not sure. Whoever has 7 attacking penalty takers will win FPL. Maybe. Bogdan, how is it going? Long time no speak. Bogdan's a good man. Bogdan is a good man. Trent still on even with no clean sheets. Of course, I'm not wasting transfers on Trent Alexander-Arnold. I got bigger fish to fry than to worry about him. Probably not going to get a clean sheet this week, to be fair, but let's hope he can get some going forward. Rashford captain could play as a striker. I mean, that's one thing to remember. Yeah, Martial, no Martial, no Cavani. To be honest, like that doesn't really make me want to captain Rashford more. I don't think necessarily playing as a striker will benefit him. I think he's good coming off the left. So for me, I would just think they're a weakened team without Martial. There must be better options than captaining Man United players this week, I think. It's been added on the FPL website between team and the fixtures. Team and the fixtures. Yeah, I don't see it, to be honest. Maybe I'm just being stupid. Bale's going to ball this weekend. I mean, there's a lot of hype. I mean, there's a bit of hype over Bale anyway. It's Gareth Bale, for Christ's sake. But there's also a lot of hype because of that training video. But I mean, I'm sure a lot of the attackers score goals in training, you know? No news on Sterling just yet. No news on Luca Dean just yet. I mean, this is why I used to do these streams on Fridays, because we'd have all the team news. But then I wanted Fridays off, so... What good differential picks that people haven't talked about? I don't know. I'd have to go look through all the ownership. I genuinely don't really know what players' ownership is. So it's not something I've given much thought to be completely honest with you. Who is your most differential player you've ever captained in FPL? I don't really know. Again, I can't remember like different ownership numbers, but I mean, I've captained Moses, Victor Moses, when he used to play for Wigan in Game Week 1. I think I captained, was it Balassi? No, not Balassi. Boselli. He had a really good pre-season for Wigan. Can you imagine that? I've been playing 10 years and I've captained Wigan players twice in Game Week 1. But the thing is, at that time, they weren't even differentials because loads of people in the community did it as well. Would you have Bowen in your team, cheap and score? I would think about him from Game Week 8. I know he's done okay, just like Antonio, so he might not be the worst player to bring in now, but the next 3 fixtures are pretty horrible. Why don't I like Jimenez anymore? I just think there's potentially better ways to spend that money, but I'm not looking to like get rid of him straight away, but he might go at some point. I should have really just wildcarded, shouldn't Let's see if I get below 50 and FPL continues with its shockers. I'm done. Keep the faith. It's only been 4 weeks. There's still 34 to go. Okay, I'm just going to see now if there's any other questions we've not already been through. Is Mahrez a good option with De Bruyne and Sterling a risk to start? I mean, maybe, but they both could be okay. And I think Mahrez long-term is not necessarily a fantastic option, but he could be good. Similar, Mahrez and Foden are going to be the same, right? They're going to get rotated at times. It's going to be frustrating at times, but they could get massive hauls when they play. So it depends whether you're okay with your benching here or there. Werner back. Like, bring him back again? I don't think so. I think we've kind of covered most stuff at this point. So I'm it's not too late to wildcard. It's not. Could happen. You know, if I get a few more injuries tomorrow, we'll think about it. Cavani worth a punt. Cavani's not playing this weekend. Hello from Canada. Hello from Ireland. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks very much for watching. Please do hit the like button if you haven't already. And subscribe if you are new around here. Hit that notification bell as well. We're 10,000 away from 125k. It'd be pretty cool to get that before the end of the season. So if you haven't already, please make sure you do that. I will be back tomorrow for the Captaincy video. I'll be on Fantasy Football Scout for the team news video. And then there's Breakfast Club on Saturday, and then on my deadline stream on Saturday as well. So plenty more to come, and obviously probably be definitely a deadline stream this week. Yeah, and obviously we'll have all the team news at that point as well, at least the press conference news. So hopefully it will be decent. But until then, I will see you later. If you want to check out Patreon, links in the description below. Patreon.com/Let's Talk FPL. I'm going to go and convert this into a podcast right now and get it uploaded. I will catch you soon. What was the thing I said I was going to talk about at the end? Probably internet. Probably not worth it. Alright, I'm going. Where in Ireland am I? I am in Galway. See you later, everyone.